Hi guys, welcome back to part 2 of drawing your door and window on cutting plane AA on a sectional elevation. So for the sectional elevation, we're just gonna quickly convert our dimensions according to the scale. I will do that off camera, but our scale is still the same, which is 1:25. So these are my dimensions converted to the scale. I'm now gonna project my two walls up. And then I'm going to start my foundation. So with the foundation, we already given the natural ground level. So with the natural ground level, we have to now draw down to get our concrete slab and then go back up to get our finished floor level. So on this line, where the natural ground level ends, we usually have our compacted hardcore filling. And then with what we are given in the foundation notes, we can see that from the natural ground level to where our concrete starts, it's 550, which is 22. So I'm going to measure 22 down so that I can start with my concrete. So 22, then I will know that I'm going to have my concrete starting on this line, and then the height of our concrete is 10. Then I'm going to go 10 up, 10 millimeters up, mark it here, and then I'm going to just ensure that I have that line and that there. And then the middle part, we already got it from the bottom, so I'm just going to project it from the bottom, which is there, and I'm just going to mark it. And then on this side we didn't get it, so I just need to measure it, measure the middle. Okay, measure it here, which is 5, then 2,5 will be my middle point. Then I can project it all the way up. So I'm going to need it for later. So my middle, and then we have our length, which is 26. So for the external one, I'm going to go 13 out from the middle, 13, 26, 13, and then this one is 450, which is 18. So I'm going to go 9 out from the middle. It's 10, 9 from the middle, and then now I can draw my slab there. Then quickly add your chain and stones. And sand. Okay. Then the next thing is to know that we're going to have our earth filling up until where our natural ground level is. So Our earth filling will end here. So I'm just gonna add the hatching. I'm just gonna do it in freehand. You are allowed to do it in freehand as long as you do it neatly. If you can't, then please by all means use your set square, 45-degree set square, to do your earth filling. So that is your earth filling, and then next we're going to move on to our now compacted hard core. So in order to get the compacted hard core's width, we need to know how much it is to get to the concrete. So our concrete starts 18 millimeters from the external wall, which is this, from here to where our concrete starts, which is up until here. So we're going to measure 18 up from the sorry. So I'm going to measure 18. Here's my 18, just where my wall ends, which is here, the given NGL. There. But on this side, my concrete doesn't go all the way in, so I have to erase that dark line. It only stops in the middle, and on this side, I'm going to extend it out there. Then now I'm just going to, even this one, you can do it freehand. There, and then our concrete is 85, which is 3.4. So from there I'm going to measure my 3.4 up, 1 2 3.4. Then I'm going to draw my concrete. You want to add your hatching as well. And then immediately add your DPC. Do it for the internal wall. Immediately label it. And then we now have to get our finished floor level, which is usually, let's see, 22 up from the external wall. So let us measure our 22 up. 22. It's not given, just make it round. And it's a carpet, so we will not add any hatching to it. We will just indicate that it is our FFL. Once the FFL has been labeled, just double check. Normally you would also need to label the NGL, but it's already labeled for you, because when you check your labelings, they will tell you everything that you need to label. So the FFL and the DPC, you label them. So from there, we're now going to start drawing our door and our window. So the window and the door have the same height, and on the notes we are given the door height. We are given the door height, which is 84. So 84, you're going to measure it from the DPC. You measure 84 going up. Then you want to just extend that. So that is where our window and door will be. Then I'm going to start with my window on the side. The height of the window is 48, not 40, sorry. It's 48. So from the height, I'm going to measure 48 down. And I mark my 48, still using construction lines. Then I'm just going to sort of mark where my window ends, and then from there I know that the frame of my window is 2. So I'm going to place this in the middle, then go 1 out on each side. Then I can now draw my window. And there is my window. Just going to outline the bottom part and the top. So that is my frame where my window will be. And then now I need to add my lintel and my windowsill here as well. So in the notes they are not given, so we're just going to use the standard dimension, which is the lintel will be, they will both have the same length as the concrete, which was about 3.4. So I'm just going to measure that down, and then I'm also going to measure it up. See, and then this will be, I'm going to draw a line where that 3.4 is to the middle, and then outline the middle line just there like that, then outline this bit as well. So once that is done, then I'm gonna draw my windowsill. So with my windowsill, I use this corner and also that one, and then we know that my windowsill is supposed to be 6.8 long. So I'm going to start with the inside windowsill. I'm going to extend my line like that. Then I measure my 6.8. So it's 6 somewhere here. Then I mark it. then it's going to be the 1,4. And I can outline this part. So that is my windowsill, 6,8 by 1,4. And then I have to do the same for the one that is slanted on the outside. For that, I'm going to use my 30-degree set square, and I'm going to draw a line at 30 degrees that's going to touch this corner here. Just a random line at 30 degrees. There. And then again, I'm going to draw a line from this corner of this window at 30 degrees. There, and then perpendicular to 30 degrees is 60. So I'm going to draw a line from the corner of the window frame, which is here, down like that. Let me just zoom in for you so that you can see the line properly. So this is the line from here to here, 30 degrees, and then I can just project how out by it will be from the floor plan, which would be that. So it is here. So where it touches, I'm just going to have my perpendicular line again, and then all I'm left with is outlining. And there's my windowsill. Then I just add my concrete that it is on, because it's not just floating by itself. And then I have to also add my DPC, so I'm just going to make this darker. And then I have to indicate that there's the DPC also there. And then now that I'm done with my two sills, window sills and the frame, now I will draw my lintel. As I've mentioned, it is the same thickness as the top concrete slab, which was 3.4. So I already measured it. So I'm just going to outline it here where I measured it. I just have to ensure that my line is straight. And then I have my lintel. Remember, this is to protect or to support the window from the load bearing wall. So you also have to add some hatching for it. Same one as the concrete. So that is my window. I will outline the other part when I'm done with everything. When I outline the wall, then I move on to my door. So with the door, we are given a wooden profile, which is just below here. So we have our profile, which we must use the scale to get the actual dimensions for the drawing. Now with my dimensions converted, I'm just going to now draw this in my internal wall. So I'm just going to shift my screen, and it's a wooden profile, so it's going to fit directly into the wall. because it's an internal wall. So now I'm going to measure this part up, which when I measured was 1,3. So this is 1,3. Then I have my height here. And then from 1,3 to get to 2, so I'm just going to measure 2 down. And then there is my so the door should be able to fit into this profile when it closes. So this is where my door starts. So the door does start at the height. So I'm just going to project that from the given view. So when I scroll down, I'm just going to zoom out. Zooming out, then I go back. You see? Yes. Now I'm going to project my door, which is this one. Then I'm going to outline it. And there it goes. And then now I can measure the whole length of my wall, which was 109. 109.5 from the DPC. $109.5, and that is the total length of the internal wall. And there. Then as you will see in the given drawing, you also have to bring up this wall because it's visible behind the door, the wall that has the built-in cupboard. So I'm just going to extend that part up as well. And then now that I know where it ends, I'm just gonna outline it up until the door. So this is where our built-in cupboard is in. And then I'm just left with drawing my wall plate. And as you can see, to get to where the wall plate begins, you need to measure 108 from your DPC. So 108 is here. So this is where my wall plate would be seated. Let me just move my screen down. That's where my wall plate will be, and then it is 1117 by 30. So you already have the height, which is 38. The 1117 is 4.68. So you want to measure that 4.6. Mark it. Then you have your wall plate. Then you can just draw your hatching for it. This hatching is what we use for undressed wood. If you know your different hatchings. So this is for undressed wood. And then I'm just going to extend my wall up a little. And then show that it is cut there at the top. So now that I'm done, I can now outline my internal and external wall. So I need to make sure that I do this very well. Stop by the floor finish and carry on under the concrete for the internal wall. Do the same for the other side. Stop by the floor finish under the concrete. So that is my internal wall. My external wall, make sure that everything is aligned. Stop by the windowsill, stop by the DPC, and then carry on from the concrete for the internal part of the external wall. Then from the outer part, we just go all the way down, stop by the windowsill, and carry all the way down to the concrete, like that. Once that is done, all that you'll have to do is use your 45 and hatch. So I used 5 millimeters to hatch. I'm going to continue using that. Then I'm going to add my line for the frame. There. And then as you can see, there is no lintel for this door because it's an internal wall. So it's internal, so we only have the door profile, the door frame profile, which we would add here, the door frame, and then our door. And then for the external wall above the window, we have to add the lintel. If the door was also external, we would add the lintel as well. So this is how you do your sectional elevation and your floor plan. So all that I'm left to do is to label section AA and the scale 1:25. So all of that is now done. Always double check your labeling instructions. Always check what you're supposed to add, because in the instructions they did say you must add a double lintel above the window, you must add a wall plate. So please always check your instructions. Just because you're finished with the drawing doesn't always mean you are completely done, unless you have checked all the specifications and all the instructions that are given, especially the labeling part, because that's where most marks are lost. But thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped you, and I will see you on the next one. All the best.